Hello everyone, my name is Michael SK and welcome back to Robotics Notes Elite. It is Expo time. It is also time to show off the gun build 2 that Akiho and the team have been working on for not as long as you would think, but at the same time, a really good effort. And yeah, I'm excited to see, well, hopefully everything actually works out at this point, because in the end of the last episode, things, kind of started off a little rocky. Something wasn't wired correctly with the parabolic antenna, so it wasn't receiving power, but I think everything is good now. But there are haters. There are haters, and I'm curious to see if some other things are going to pop up, either internal or external. By the way, Akiho is very loud. Just a little heads up. Akiho then clears her throat and pauses for a moment. Two guests had stopped to watch Akiho when she got up on the platform, but they quickly left after getting bored.
でもやっぱうちらの愛と勇気と栄光の奇跡を語った方がインパクト出るって。
出ないよ、全くね。
全くインパクトになっとらんぞ、Akihoちゃん。
And what does she even mean by tale of love and courage and glory? That sounds so corny. After looking dejected for a moment, Akiho quickly regains her composure.
まずはパフォーマンスで見せるってことだね。じゃあ。
Akiho holds up the mic again. She poses exaggeratedly, like Mr. Pleiades would, and then shouts orders at Model 2. So that's how we're doing this. Got it. After receiving Akiho's instructions, I quickly input the advanced command. Model 2 walks forward. To the guests, it should look like the robot followed Akiho's orders. Well, if there was an audience, that is. Despite taking it apart and reassembling it, Gun Build 2 moves smoothly, just like it did when we tested it on the island. The electric motor gears are loud, making it significantly noisier than the hydraulic motors in the other robots. But that actually has the effect of making our robot sound more powerful. And indoors, the effect is markedly increased. People slowly begin to gather in front of our booth, likely drawn by the loud noises. I figured people would stop to look once our robot got moving.
パパ、このロボかっこ悪い。
そうだな。またルーノ社のロボットを見に行くか。
Hey, come on now. Talk about cutthroat honesty. Akiho starts talking directly to the little kid. Should she really be doing that? Maybe I should stop her. I look to Michi for help, but our no-good teacher has his hands full of just holding the transmission gun.
頑張れるなんて子供の教育に悪いじゃないか。見せられないよ。わ
あ、本当だ。頑張れるがいる。かっこいい。
The father refuses, but the little boy pulls out his Pokecom, takes a look, and starts cheering.
おい、たかし。
だってパパ、すっごいかっこいいよ。ちゃんと頑張れるだし、動いてるし。
This is the first positive reaction that we've gotten from the audience all day.
ガッツくつ撃砕第一から元気一発をお見舞いして
According to Akiho, these are Model 2's ultimate moves, both of which are special motions programmed into the robot. She wants me to link them into a super combo. I guess she's not holding any cards back. Akiho's totally on cloud 9.
いいけどね。
The only person in the crowd enjoying himself is a little boy. But regardless, he's our first real guest that we've gotten on our 6-month journey. So, while he may only be one person, I want to make sure he goes home satisfied. The special motions require more inputs than the basic ones, so the timing is a lot harsher. Up until the very end, Juna was never able to do it. But she's an amateur. I'm a different story. I'm the man ranked 2nd place in the world at Kill Ballad, yes, we know. I can do command inputs like this with my eyes closed. No biggie. I rapidly tap the buttons. After receiving the command, Model 2 begins to move. It's not just walking. I have no idea how to pronounce this. Gekisai Daiichi, oh there we go, is a karate kata that Juna has been performing since she was a child. All we cut from the kata were the kicks. Model 2 turns to the left defensively, then transitions into a front thrusting punch. It then turns to the right and repeats the motion. After omitting the kick, it performs an elbow strike, then a sweep, and then another front punch. It follows those motions up with 2 left and right punches. This entire sequence of movements is registered to a single command. Even the Zanshin stance, while slightly awkward, is reproduced faithfully. It's apparently a fairly basic kata, but it's super impactful when a giant robot performs it. The punches in particular have a lot of force behind them, leading the boy in the audience to cheer in excitement. Once I've input a command, I can relax until it's time for the next one, so I take a moment. That's so cool. Honestly, I like the robot, bare bones. It is actually really cool how they implemented something that you can see in the camera app, but here it's also really badass. I look over at the father and son. The father, who had been so negative about Gunbarrel, is now looking at Model 2 with his son, eyes glimmering. He kind of reminds me of Akiho's old man. The same guy who had his 2 daughters inherit his love for robots and mecha anime. In a way, he's the reason that Model 2 exists at all. Some adults never stop loving mecha anime, no matter how old they get. Seeing this father and son follow the robot's movements together is honestly pretty heartwarming. I can't help but smile. It's funny, I was so annoyed at how that dude threw the bottle earlier and made fun of our work. But now? Well, right now I genuinely just want these 2 to enjoy themselves. Gekisai Daiichi is almost over, so I input the Blast of Spirit command after watching my timing. This is Model 2's most impressive move. In the anime, the protagonist Gunbarrel sorties, and then does its signature pose right in front of the enemy. This motion basically represents all of Gunbarrel. Akiho pushed hard to get this programmed into Model 2, saying that anyone would absolutely get fired up after seeing it.
疾風怒涛だ
Akiho shouts into the mic as Model 2 moves along. She even copies its poses.
元気一発
Akiho's movements are totally synchronized with Model 2.
頑張れる
That is so cool. It is a really nice sight, honestly. Truly. Is this going to be... Oh, that's not the right button. Is this going to be the thumbnail material? I sure hope so. But she's not the only one. Both the father and son are posing as well.
Jackie!
Oh, don't do that. Model 2's special motion comes to an end, accompanied by Akiho's cry. Our first real guests take a commemorative photo afterward. They grab a copy of the production journal and leave with smiles as we wave and see them off.
カイやったね
Akiho comes running over to me with a big smile and goes for the high five. I grin and respond in kind. We're still not getting many visitors. We're on the edge of the venue, so many guests end up going to the major centerpiece exhibits. I would say out of the 100,000 Expo visitors, we got about 500 guests who dropped by to take a look at Model 2. But you know what? The Expo has only just begun. We just gotta keep moving forward one person at a time. We knew from the start that we wouldn't be able to win against the high-budget robots from the major companies. That's why we just have to slowly and steadily crawl our way up the ranks. I mean, winning the Grand Prix might be a little difficult, but the fact that we're standing here at all is a miracle in and of itself. Yeah, I mean, baby steps.
私は今東京お台場にある万博アリーナに来ています。
Oh, hold on there, female announcer. We're a few days in the future here. Reporting an update for the spread of the Kimijima Reports. As of February 26, 2020, 79% has spread worldwide. Total completion 16. Spain passed 80. Finland passed 70. Japan is at 30. All right. Attention, currently performing at booth R2-9 via Tokyo Expo Odaiba Arena. Please stop by. Either way, I think little Senomiya is a better club president now. Yeah, honestly, this whole past year that we've seen these characters, there have been some improvements. We've seen a lot of these characters grow, and it is very nice to see where Kaito and Akiho are now today. Today's News Evening 5 will be a special on the Tokyo Expo. Senomiya Misaki from the Exoskeleton Company will be appearing as a guest. If Misaki-san is appearing live on Fujisun TV, maybe she'll be at the Odaiba venue. I heard at the Expo booth they are having a special demonstration in the afternoon today. Breaking news, Expo booth is hosting a special demonstration in the afternoon. Maybe Misaki-san herself is riding wait, how do we pronounce this again? Sumuragi? Let's go with that. At the special demonstration. What? Is it true that Misaki-san might appear at the Expo venue? Okay, so people are just simping here. Anything new here? Anything good here? Wait, hold on. It appears that... Okay, we already read that. Fujisun TV is interviewing Tanegashima Robotics Club. This Senomiya Akiho girl, isn't she Misaki-san's sister? She was the runner-up at last year's Robo 1. What? Senomiya Akiho-chan is participating in the Expo creating a giant robot. I thought I heard their name before. They're from RO41. I was sad that they were not in 42, but didn't think that they'd be at the Expo. They were Chuo Tanegashima High Robotics Research Club officially at Robo 1. Wonder why they shortened their name. It was too long? Misaki-san is beautiful, but Akiho-chan is cute. Alright, kinda sus, but whatever. The rumors are that Senomiya Misaki is coming to Odaiba. If so, then both Senomiya sisters will be there. This is the chance to see the Senomiya sisters together. Not the time to be why are they even like up in arms about this shit? It's kind of weird.
開幕から5日目を迎え、平日にもかかわらず大盛況の東京万博ですが、今日はこの巨大ロボットの祭典ともいえるお台場会場で初々しい才能を羽ばたかせようとしている現役高校生をご紹介しましょう。種子島ロボ部の部長を務める瀬宮明穂さんです。こんにちは。よろしくお願いします。
The pretty reporter points her mic at Akiho, who stiffens up immediately. Is she going to be able to answer her questions? I'm watching from a distance, and quite frankly, I am worried. This is a live broadcast. It could be shown on Tanegashima right now.
種子島ロボ部は今回の万博に一般参加枠で出展しており、しかも制作者は唯一の現役高校生なんです。すごいですよね。 瀬宮さん、どうして巨大ロボットを作ろうと思ったんですか？ロボットになるのが夢だったからです。
Yeah, calm down.
そうなんですか。種子島ではロボット開発は盛んなんですか？宇宙開発の方では有名ですが。盛んじゃないです。よく笑われたりしたし、部員も今じゃ2人だけだし、それでも 協力してくれる人はたくさんいました。日本人はやっぱりロボットが好きなんだと思います。なるほど。東京万博に実際に参加してみて5日目ですが、手応えはどうでしょう？まだまだこれからです。グランプリ取りますから。うわあ、大胆な宣言が飛び出しましたね。これは期待できるかもしれません。
I'm gonna be honest, guys. Like, more so than Robo 1, I don't think we're winning that shit.
さあ、そんな瀬宮さんですが、お姉さんは今、メディアから引っ張りだこのエグゾスケルトン社の瀬宮美咲さんなんですよね。今日、その瀬宮美咲さんが会場を訪れて、デモンストレーションを行うことになっていますが。
That was the first time Akiho and I had heard anything about that. Akiho flashes me a puzzled look. I don't have an answer for her. I only just heard it myself, so I'm just as surprised.
お姉さんはアキホさんにとってどんな人でしょう。今日ここに来るんですか？ええ、そうプレスリリースにありましたよ。お姉ちゃんがここに。はい、その
The reporter glances over at the man who seems to be her director and then looks back to the camera.
とっても楽しみですよね。もしかしたら姉妹で共演もあるかもしれませんよ。では CM を挟んで世界各国の巨大ロボットたちをご紹介します。
One of the assistants yells, entering commercial break, and the reporter's smile morphs into an expression of relief.
びっくりしました。ちょっとハプニングみたいになってしまいましたね。驚かせてしまってごめんなさい。お姉さんのこと聞いていなかったんですね。はい。本来は種子島ロボ部のロボットを紹介する予定だったんですが。
The reporter and director draw close to each other and quietly discuss something. Their conversation ends quickly and the reporter offers Akiho a smile and a handshake.
では瀬宮さん、ご出演ありがとうございました。取材はこれで終わりですので、それでは。
Well, that could have gone better. She forces a smile and, like an adult, offers a word of gratitude before trying to head to the next interview.
お姉ちゃん、瀬宮美咲は何時頃ここに来るかわかりますか？確か午後2時頃だと聞きましたけど。2時ですね。ありがとうございます。
Well, place your bets now, gang. Are we actually gonna see her? In the end, the reporter flashes her a smile and dashes off to the next booth with her people. She was pretty nice.
カイ、お姉ちゃんが来るって。
Akiho's expression is even more tense than it was during the interview.
ああ、今日はなんだか会場内が落ち着きないなって思ったんだけど、それが原因だったのかもね。
入るかな？これだけの人の中で。
ミサ姉が行く場所は決まってる。エグスケ社のブースだ。向こうが来ないならこっちから会いに行けばいいだけさ。これまではこっちが追う立場だったけど、今回は待ち構える立場になれるわけ。
We won't be able to have a leisurely conversation here, but we just need to meet up with her. If we do that, all the misunderstandings from constantly missing each other will be cleared up. At least I hope so. Oh, I wonder. Akiho is still tense, so I put my hands on her cheeks and jostle them around.
実の姉に会うだけなのになんでそんな緊張してるわけ？
だってまさか今日会えるかもしれないなんて予想してなくて。心の準備が。
Could she be any more of a handful?
とにかくワンチャンを絶対に逃しちゃダメだ。いい？
わかった。
Today's going to be a crazy one. I look at my wristwatch. February 26, 2020, 11:14 a.m. Misane is scheduled to appear in less than 3 hours. Supposedly. Oh, and speaking of, 30 minutes or so before 2 p.m. Back and forth. The floor beneath me sways back and forth in an unchanging rhythm. The sound of waves faintly reaches my ears. In this dark, narrow room, I put on a black bodysuit. Like some kind of membrane, it's thin and elastic. It tightly clings to my bare skin. The cool feeling is pleasant. Oh no. This is some Evangelion shit, fuck. Then upon realizing that my body feels hot, I bite my lip. It seems like without me being conscious of it, I'm excited. Back and forth. The floor sways. The world shakes. Outside the small window is a sea of blue with no land in sight.
毎晩作戦開始まで90分です。
That sounds very familiar.
準備を。
了解。
I by no means expected that I would receive Wyvern as a call sign. It was surely intentional. The same call sign was used in a certain mecha anime long ago. For a ghost that does not exist. For a phantom with no substance. Perhaps it's surprisingly fitting. I hold my streamlined helmet under my arm and open the watertight door of the room. I walk through a narrow, confined passageway, heading toward the hangar. Exiting onto a catwalk, I look down at the giant black spider sitting below me, currently on standby.
私が好きなのは白い機体なのに。
Back and forth, the world shakes again. The waves are tall today, but that proves no obstacle to me. Oh boy. I've got a bad feeling, gang.
モーターは油圧式じゃなくて油圧式でなので使っている数は電動の
Akiho has been incoherent on the mic for a while now, but she was also on Twitter. Going on TV after this. Construction has finally come to an end. Depending on the weather, on March 2nd, it looks like we can launch a rocket for the first time in 5 years, and we probably won't be there for it. Which is a little disappointing, but whatever. She keeps messing up what she's supposed to say. That energy that she had from the first day is long gone. The fact that Misane is coming here today has completely put her on edge.
モーターはどんなものを使っているの？
モーターはもの
I hurriedly input a command and make Model 2 turn on the spot. Akiho notices the noise and stops talking. She looks over at me with a blank expression on her face. She doesn't even seem to have realized what she was saying. I shake my head at her in silence and she comes to her senses.
企業秘密です
Good grief, what a handful. Since Akiho was busy working the mic, I'm stuck with using the laser gun and operating Model 2 at the same time. Michi only came on the first day, so he's been MIA. I really hope he's properly handling our lodging issue. Which he probably isn't. Mr. Candy shows up daily, but all he ever does is watch the robot with a satisfied look for about an hour before taking off. So aside from the opening day, it's basically just been me and Akiho running the booth and Model 2. Command inputs require both hands. The laser transmission gun also requires both hands to properly aim. It's impossible to do both at the same time. Stuck between a rock and a hard place, I've had to use special commands over everything else. Once I input one of these commands, the robot moves by itself for about 30 seconds. I only input a command when Akiho gives that order. Otherwise, I'm holding up the transmission gun. I've never had to work this much in my life. But given that there's nobody else here to do it, I have little say in the matter.
では最後にスーパーコンボを見てもらってパフォーマンスは終わりです頑張れるやっちゃえ
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Normally she'd explain over the mic that Gunbarrel would be transitioning from a Gekisai Daiichi to a blast of spirit. Did she even forget about that? This Misane stuff must have really messed her up. Whatever, I'll just do as I'm told. I input the Gekisai Daiichi command, immediately pick up the transmission gun from the table next to me and fire. Once Gekisai Daiichi is about to end, I put down the transmission gun and input the next command. When the combo ends, Akiho will thank the audience for coming, or at least she's supposed to, but she doesn't seem to be doing it. She's looking around restlessly. What is she doing? Come on, keep it together. It's when I'm about to warn her. I notice that it's not just Akiho who's so restless. Everyone in the audience is whispering a single name, almost like some big game of telephone. Senomiya Misaki has arrived. The rumor propagates like a wave, and spreads out amongst the throngs of people. Before long, the whole audience starts moving simultaneously. Not just the audience in front of our booth, but the guests at the other booths are all heading in the same direction. There's little doubt that they're headed for the Expo booth. Everyone is going to see Misane. What should I do? Should we go too? But after my experience with this sea of flesh on the first day, I'm a bit wary. Akiho, however, sets the mic down, only to start sprinting in the complete opposite direction of the crowd. What is she thinking?
アキちゃん
ちょっと行ってくる
行くってどこへ
関係者エリアお姉ちゃんそこから出入りするはず
Oh, I get it. She's trying to catch Misane before she goes to the Expo booth. Clever girl. I shut down the power after having Model 2 crouch down and quickly follow after Akiho. Eyewitnesses in the staff area say that they saw Misane in the corridor. The staff area corridor is off limits for normal visitors, so there's nobody inside. Considering the only thing that separates it and tens of thousands of people is a single wall, the corridor itself is silent. Eerily so. However, that proves convenient for us. We're able to spot Misane from afar. There's only one person other than us in here. That's right. She's right there. She has a sense of elegance to her even in the way she walks. Her back is perfectly straight, like she's filled with limitless confidence. There's no way me or Akiho would ever mistake her for anyone else. Nothing has changed since we last saw her on Tanegashima 7 years ago. Also, she's wearing all that wacky shit, but you know, whatever. Hold on, let's get a good scan of her real quick. Nice. I want to be the heart that supports you. Interesting. Do we need to scan that? Any of this? No? There's this stuff here. Wait, why did not... Oh, there we go. I was gonna say, I'm like, why did that not go? But I don't think I clicked it. Alright.
Misane!
I yell out at her right after Akiho. After hearing our voices, she slowly turns around. Misane is dressed in a tight white suit intended for use with a hug. It's the very same one that she wears in the Expo commercials. The suit clearly exposes her natural curves, and I gotta admit, it's kinda sexy. The way she was walking alone down the corridor, helmet under her arm, looked like it could have been a movie scene. We finally meet again. After all this time. It's been 7 long years since the day we said our goodbyes at the Tanegashima airport. The only contact I've had with her since then is when she called me last summer. And now that very same Misane is standing right in front of me. The same one that never returned to Tanegashima. Oh, she's gonna be cold with us. That's my prediction here. She's gonna be really cold with us. Akiho hasn't spoken to her in 7 years. I'm sure this reunion is especially important to her. I figured that she would immediately run over and tackle Misane, but Akiho does nothing. Maybe she's nervous? And since the two of us ran the whole way here, we're both out of breath. Given our seizures, neither of us can do much in the way of heavy exercise. The both of us stop in front of Misane, breathing heavily. The whole time, she just looks at us. She doesn't say a word. All 3 of us are just looking at each other in silence. Akiho is the first one to break the silence. Akiho is clearly very emotional right now. She's looking at Misane in absolute wondering glee, her eyes tearing up.
Aki-chan, 俺がいること忘れてない?
Yeah, a little bit. The conversation ends there. Misane still hasn't said a word. She's been quietly listening to Akiho talk with a kind-looking smile on her face. She doesn't try to say anything. Her eyes are glued to Akiho. It appears as though she's giving her full attention. But why isn't she saying anything? And why is she acting like I don't exist? She won't even make eye contact with me. What am I, chopped liver? This is mean, even for her. Is this her sadistic idea of a reunion? Or is she just messing with me? I hate this. I'm too old to let her get the best of me like that. Fine, I'll talk to her then.
Misane.
Aki.
I just happen to speak at the same time that Misane says Akiho's name. Damn it, what awful timing. Fine, I guess I'll just shut up for now. That brief comment is enough to wash away all the uncertainty from Akiho's face and put a smile in its place.
あるんだけど、何よりもまず一番に伝えたいことがあって、お姉ちゃんが作ったロボ部がね、ここまで来たの。万博っていう世界最高の舞台にたどり着いたの。直前でロボ部自体はなくなっちゃったけど、うちらが出展したロボはお姉ちゃんが設計したガンバレルじゃないけど、それでもね、中種ロボ部イズムはずっとちゃんと受け継がれてる。お姉ちゃんが島を出た7年前から今ここにいるうちとカイの代までちゃんと受け継がれてるから。うちとカイとロボ部の歴代の部員のみんなと他にもいろんな人の協力があってここまで運んできたから。だからねえお姉ちゃん、うちらのロボット少しでもいいから見ていってくれると嬉しいな。
アキ、父さんと母さんは元気？
お父さんなんか久々のロケット打ち上げが決まってすごく張り切ってるよ。
That is true. I'm getting impatient. Could Akiho hurry up and wrap it up already? With Misane right in front of me, I'm overflowing with things I want to say. It feels like I'm drowning in these feelings and won't be able to say anything. Even so, there's one thing I absolutely have to tell her. Just one thing. I have to tell her, no matter what.
Misane.
I half forcefully butt into the conversation.
俺、水香さんから伝言を預かってるんだ。
My voice feels hoarse. I feel a throbbing deep inside my chest, excuse me. I still haven't managed to get over it. No, it's not something I should get over. Misane doesn't even attempt to look at me. I'm worried that she doesn't even see me.
水香さんがミサ姉に会ったら伝えてくれって。亡くなる直前にこう言ったんだ。ハグをプレゼントしてくれてありがとう。そのおかげで事故前と変わらない生活を送れたから感謝してるって。
I know I'm not reading the room. I know this isn't the right time. We've been waiting for this moment for years. And now I'm talking about depressing stuff and making things awkward for everyone. I'm sorry, Akiho. But I have to get this out while I can.
ミサ姉、俺さ、目の前にいたのに水香さんのこと。
アキ、
Misane abruptly interrupts me. Misane still has that smile on her face. I'm confused.
進路は決まったの？
Yeah, it's like we really aren't here. Wait, what? What's going on? What is Misane saying? Did she ignore me? My brain refuses to comprehend it. Why did she just ignore me? It's not that I really care, it just, surprised me more than anything. Maybe she's just on edge because she has a demonstration coming up? But those were Mizuka-san's final words. That's the one thing I didn't want her to ignore. There's no way Misane would ever ignore her. Mizuka-san was her best friend. She would never do that. Has she changed that much? All the chunks of info I've gathered up until now, all my delusions, they all start to billow up to the surface.
お姉ちゃん、
なあミサ姉、水香さんの最後の言葉だけはちゃんと聞いてくれよ。
I say to her expectantly, look at me, Misane. You need to accept Mizuka-san's words.
なんでこっちを見てくれないわけ？ミサ姉！
Yeah, this is weird.
見つけたぞ。
Suddenly, a man's voice echoes in the corridor. What the fuck? Before we realize it, a man standing a few feet away from us starts pointing a handgun in our direction. That's the guy that she was always with. And our connection to the 300, huh? Or at least the Tavistock Institute.
あいつ。
I remember that man's face. I saw him with Misane on the news before. I think he's Misane's boss.
沢田君。
Sawada Toshiyuki, a man connected to the Tavistock Institute. Seeing as how he's pointing a gun at us, he must be trying to erase us. I glance at Misane to check her expression, but she's not even looking at him. And not just Sawada, She isn't looking at me or even Akiho anymore. Her gaze is fixed in another direction, and despite the situation, she still has that calm smile on her face. How is she so calm and collected right now? Is she okay with me or Akiho getting killed? Or is she in on all of this?
動くな。手を上げろ。
カイ、お姉ちゃん。
Sawada holds the gun with both hands and carefully moves towards us. It feels like our reality has suddenly disappeared. Just moments ago, we were celebrating our reunion with Misane, but now my heart is falling to pieces. In the distance, I can faintly hear the hosts of various booths explaining their robots. The hustle and bustle of people swirls together to form a cheerful background noise. It's like another world over there. Am I really still in the Expo arena?
手を上げろと言っている。
Akiho looks like she's about to cry as she raises her hands. I bite my lip and do as I'm told. The fact that this guy is Misane's boss means, well, it means my delusions aren't delusions. They're reality. All the things I'd heard up until now.
もしこれ以上関わるならカイ、あなたはきっと後悔することになる。
Yeah, sort of sounding more like a threat. The more we hear it.
ヤシオ先輩は今かなりまずい立場にいる気がする。
Yeah, that's a warning.
マスターは殺されました。
And that's a fact.
この世界は
And so was she. She
あん
was
たら
most
が思
definitely
ってる以
murdered.
上に醜くて汚い。
Their words echo in the back of my mind. Was this what Mizuka-san's warning meant? Is this what she meant by ignorance is bliss? How Kimijima Ko was murdered? How Frau's mom was murdered? How important people around the world and even Mizuka-san are being killed by out-of-control hugs? Has this all been because of Misane and her allies? If that's true, if that's really the case, I can't.
まさか君が彼らとつながっていたとはな。まんまと出し抜かれたよ。
I want to tear out my hair. What exactly is he talking about? Who's he saying that to? It can't be Akiho. If she doesn't know anything about the conspiracy, I never told her. In that case, Sawada's talking to me, the one who spread the Kimijima reports around the world. But I don't understand a single bit of what he's saying.
何を企んでいる？君の本当の狙いは何だ？答えろ、セノミヤ。
What? Huh? Senomiya? Not me? There's no way he means Akiho. The only other person here with the name Senomiya is...
アキ、
I jump. It felt like my heart was about to come flying out of my mouth. Misane's been completely silent since Sawada showed up, until now. And she's still smiling. She still wears that welcoming smile despite a gun being pointed at us. She stands totally calm.
お姉ちゃん。
ロケットの打ち上げはまだ？
ミサネ、何言ってんだよ。
I can't help myself. Yeah, she is totally just not even here. I don't understand any of this at all. It's like Misane is a totally different person. The Misane I loved and respected is no longer there. The right stuff inside of her is gone. I don't know if my words reached her, but the smile nonetheless vanishes from her face. She turns and faces Sawada silently.
動くなと言ったはずだ。動けば撃つ。
やめて。
Sawada's gaze and gun are pointed straight at Misane. Not me. Not Akiho. Misane. Shouldn't he be pointing the gun at me? I'm the one who leaked the reports. The inside of my head is a mess. Both Misane and this man are from the Committee of 300. They're comrades. So why? Misane bends her lips slightly.
ヒドゥンハント。
What the fuck? Those words. Misane takes a single step toward the man. She makes no sound. Her movement is inhuman. Without any preparation, she just suddenly bursts into a sprint.
動くなと。
Oh, there's gunshots now. She's dead. Misane's dead. She took that bullet straight on. And yet, Misane slips by Sawada as if nothing had happened.
バカな。当たったはず。
Did he miss? Is that even possible at point-blank range? And with such firm aim? There isn't a single drop of blood on the floor. Is she okay? Wait a second. How can Misane run like that without making a sound?
セノミヤ止まれ
It's then that Akiho does something unexpected. She grabs onto Sawada's arm as he tries to shoot Misane in the back.
離せ
I instinctively leap in as well. Without thinking, I tackle Sawada from behind. Knocked down, the gun falls from Sawada's hands. He tries to pick it back up, but I yank his leg from behind. He pulls me down, gets on top of me, and starts punching me. I cover my face with both arms and kick Sawada in the chest. I've got some distance. Without delay, I pick up the gun. I don't know how to use it, but I hold it with both hands and point it at Sawada. Still on his hands and knees, he looks up at me frustrated. I glance around at my surroundings. There's no sight of Misane anymore. Akiho entered the passage leading into the Expo arena, chasing after her.
一体何がどうなってるんだよ。
セノミヤを止めろ
うるさい、動くな。
Suddenly, a lonely melody resounds throughout the venue. Ah, fuck. The moment I hear it, my hairs stand on end.
ごめんかごめん。
It's just like back then. It's the same nursery rhyme that played when Misaka-san's hug went berserk.
このままだと君島レポートの通りになるぞ
Wait, why is he the one saying that shit, though? What the hell is going on? Everything that happened in Tanegashima, everything happening here in Odaiba, it's all starting to connect. I have a terrible feeling about this. But with Sawada glaring at me, I can't move. Akiho, Misane. Yeah, this shit's fucking backwards, man. This shit is absolutely backwards. Why is it that she's the one that's acting completely fucking bonkers, and this shit is now happening, with Sawada seeming like he's the one that's trying to stop shit from going down? I can hear Kogame from the Expo arena. People in the audience look down at their Pokecoms wondering what's going on. But I have no time for that. How can I describe what I just saw? Wearing a tight white bodysuit just like the ones a robot pilot would wear. Big Sis makes an incredible leap the moment she exits out into the Expo arena. It's a leap far beyond human capabilities. She probably travels around 5 meters. She glides through the air, flying toward the crowded Expo booth. I chase after her through the aisles, desperately crying out for her to wait inside my head. But it's too difficult to move forward. The aisles are filled with people. Some are just standing there wondering what's going on after seeing Big Sis fly overhead. While it's not as bad as opening day, the place is still jam-packed. I run and run and run. I bump into people, I fall over, I get up again. The cycle repeats over and over again. I can't reach her. I can't catch up. Just when I thought I'd finally caught up with her, just when I thought I had finally stood shoulder to shoulder with her, she slips away again. She flies past me. I reach out, but I can't touch her. My lungs burn. I can't catch my breath. I shout out, but my voice is drowned out by the thunderous applause. I crash into a large, well-built man and fall over onto my backside. He asks if I'm okay and offers me a hand, but I shove him aside and look up. There's a large monitor attached to the venue ceiling. The reporter who interviewed me earlier is on screen. She's filming at the Exoskeleton Company booth. On screen, I see Big Sis swoop down. An angel. That word appeared in the back of my mind. I can't hear her voice, but I can tell that the reporter is excited. The audience mistakes her fantastical appearance as part of the demonstration, greeting her with thunderous applause. However, she looks at nobody. She just leaps into the spider-like hug. Big Sis slips into what appears to be the control module of the robot. Even through the big screen, I can tell that Sumeragi has been activated. Its giant dark body begins to stir. The spider jolts awake. Each of its sharp 6 legs begin to wriggle on their own. I can hear massive cheers even from where I'm standing. Exoskeleton Company Hug Test Pilot. That's her official title, her real position. She only started doing PR work after she gained attention as a test pilot. So having her pilot a concept model like this, and at a huge venue like the Expo, it's a scenario pulled straight from a dream. The people's excitement is at its peak. Sumeragi's guttural noises can't be heard over the cheering of the crowd. However, as far as I can tell through the giant monitor, it's both fast and fluid in how it moves. In my head, I always pictured six-legged robots as being bulky and slow. Guess my prejudice was unfounded. It skitters along the floor just like a spider would. Sumeragi smoothly crawls across the booth and soon raises one of its legs up high. After extending upward, it reaches a length of at least 6 to 7 meters. And then immediately afterward, the leg forcefully whips downward. It tears right through the booth's partition. This thing is crazy strong. Those partitions are made of extremely solid resin, yet it tore through it like paper. The entire venue stirs and then falls into total silence, but only for a moment. Screams immediately follow and panic ensues. A wave of people rush to get away from Sumeragi. People fall over each other, causing more screams and angry shouts. The cameraman shooting the footage must have been knocked down. The screen only shows the legs of people fleeing. What the fuck? From amidst the throngs of screaming people, things that resemble missiles fly into the air. Sumeragi's poison fangs spew smoke as they pierce through the air at terrifying speed. They collide with the torso of the Konda Company's giant robot. I'm not pronouncing that shit. Scarlet fumes rise from them. The shockwave blasts through the inside of the Expo arena. Booth walls and people are blown over. Pamphlets rain down from the sky like snow. Did Big Sis shoot those? Did those missiles come from Sumeragi? That means it's loaded with live ammunition. But why? This is the Expo arena, not a battlefield. Why would it be loaded with live rounds? No way. Was this the plan from the very beginning? Is this another Berserk hug incident, like the one that killed Misaki-san? Or was this all a planned attack by Big Sis? I don't know, and I refuse to accept either option as a possibility. Regardless, nobody can stop Sumeragi now that it's moving. All of the people are scrambling to escape the venue. The robots on display have been left behind, abandoned. The only robot moving in the building is that giant black spider. It crawls along on its 6 legs, knocking down booth walls and tables one after another. The defenseless robots have their legs swept from under them before getting smashed by the spider's sharp legs. A missile pod emerges from its torso and unleashes a barrage of guided missiles with a thunderous roar. This is a massacre. The best giant robots from around the world are being slaughtered in a one-sided massacre and a feast of bloodshed and madness. With no way to fight back, these incredibly cool, adorable, amazing robots are being mercilessly reduced to scrap. Definitely not the words I would, use together to describe these robots, but whatever. I stand frozen in place as I hold my head. Another one bites the dust. This time, it's the Renault company's giant robot. I don't know why I said that. It's Renault or Renault or whatever the pronunciation of the actual company is. They get caught in the evil clutches of the giant spider and are subsequently murdered. Yeah, hold on, game. Let me get a drink of water. This is all crazy. Why is this happening? My sister would never do this. I know she wouldn't. But for now, I have to stop this spider. If I don't, the other robots won't make it out alive. I run to the Tanegashima Robotics Club booth. Most of the people are flooding toward the exits to escape, so our booth is totally deserted. It's then that a missile soars overhead. It collides with the Expo arena wall and explodes. The entire building shakes violently. I can't help but stagger and crouch down on the spot. The roof collapses, causing dust to burst into the air. I cry out to her, wiping away my tears, and I run toward Gunbuild 2. Despite the chaos, our robot is still crouched down. He's not hurt, nothing's broken. I look around for any sign of Kai, but it looks like we got separated in all of the chaos. I take out my Pokecom. I also have the Kill Ballad system installed. Yeah, but is this thing really going to help here? I turn on the power, awkwardly input a command, and watch as Gunbuild 2 stands up. I have no idea how long the battery's going to last. It's impossible to operate him and transmit power at the same time. Without constant power from the laser beam, he'll stop moving after about 3 minutes. But despite that, there's not a moment to lose right now.
他のロボットたちを助けなきゃ。お姉ちゃんを止めるの。お願い、ガンツクツ。うちに力を貸して。
He has no way of fighting. His performance is nothing compared to the spider's abilities, but I'm the only one here who can do this. I feel eyes on my back. I can also hear the sound of a low-frequency engine. It sends a chill down my spine. I turn around. My vision is blocked by the booth wall, but I can feel the spider wriggling around behind it. I glance at my Pokecom screen in order to see Gunbuild 2's point of view. There it is. Yeah, there it is. The Sumeragi, with Big Sis on board, is approaching the booth wall. I brace myself. The spider's talon-like leg comes tearing through the booth wall. Its form is revealed through the opening it made in the wall. I'm scared. Is she chasing after me? Is Big Sis trying to kill me? Why? Why would she do this? My legs tremble and I nearly crumple to the floor. I'm so scared that I'm in tears. No, you can't back down now. Fight. You have to protect the other robots. You have to fight and stop that spider, no matter what. I take a step back and begin to input a command into my Pokecom. Advance. 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 Gunbuild 2 approaches the spider. He has the advantage in height, but the spider is fairly short, so I doubt a punch from Gekisai Daiichi will connect. But I have no other means of attack. I don't care if it's just for show. As long as it stops Big Sis, as long as it stops that spider. But inputting the command is difficult. Nervousness and panic make my fingers shake. I can't get it right. It's like my fingers aren't my own. Sweat from my brow drips into my eyes. I can't help but close them in pain. And before I know it, I'm trembling. It's then that the spider makes its move. It slowly raises its body. Supported by 4 of its legs, it lifts its other 2 up like a praying mantis. To make matters worse, the legs have what appears to be sharp blades installed inside of them. They have a faint gold glow to them. Gunbuild 2 stands frozen still within the range of those terrifying blades. I feel a dull pain run deep inside of my chest. It feels like an icy hand is crushing my heart. It squeezes tightly. This is the sign of an attack. But that's not going to work really well for her here because she's just going to basically be a ragdoll at this point. She won't be able to do shit. I don't have the time to be worried about that right now. I have to do it. I have to get the command right. If I don't, Model 2 can't move. I know all of that, and yet the inside of my head is completely blank. All I can do is hold the Pokecom like an idiot. He's filled with the hopes and dreams of the Robotics Club, the club that Big Sis founded. He carries what I entrusted to him, my dream of wanting to catch up to my sister with all of my heart, even if it means letting all of Tanegashima fall to pieces. And that's why... The spider's blades flash. They cut through Gunbuild 2's torso from both sides like a pair of scissors. Gunbuild 2's upper body shakes and leans forward. It makes a terrible sound like iron being bent and twisted. His body then falls over onto the spider. The impact crushes the spider onto the ground before stopping. Big Sis. Wait, did we actually stop it? Like, by just moving the robot in front of it? I rush over to the spider. I slip between its legs and crawl into the torso. Somewhere, there must be a switch or something to open the pilot hatch somewhere. It's not long before I find what I'm looking for. I press the button and the hatch slides open, accompanied by the sound of compressed air leaking out. Inside is the unique standing cockpit. But, even though I know I saw her climb inside, Big Sis is nowhere to be found. She had disappeared without a trace, as if she was never here to begin with. What the fuck, dude? What the absolute shit? What happened? Without a soul in sight, the venue looks like a ravaged battlefield. The rampaging spider hug stopped a few minutes ago, and with the sounds of destruction and chaos having faded from the Expo arena, a deep silence envelops the ruins. The giant robots that once stood proud in the building have either toppled over or been destroyed. The colorful signs and booths from the exhibits are covered in dust and grime. Large pieces of rubble and wreckage from the caved-in ceiling litter the showroom floor. This shit's fucking nuts, dude. Collapsed in front of the wreckage of Model 2 and the crushed spider hug is Akiho. She looks like she's in incredible pain.
Aki-chan, 大丈夫? 怪我?
Her face is pale. She's clutching her chest and biting her lip.
まさか発作起こした?
Akiho nods slightly. A part of me wants to scold her for running too much, but now's not the time for that. I want to take care of her right now, but we need to evacuate first. Who knows when more of the ceiling could collapse.
さあ、捕まって.
I turn my back to Akiho and crouch down.
おぶってあげるから.
Akiho obediently but weakly clings to my back. I make sure I have a firm hold of her before standing up. Now then, where's the exit?
ねえ、カイ、お姉ちゃんがいないの。消えちゃった。
消えた?
I glance over at the spider hug. The cockpit hatch is open. Misane is nowhere to be found. I'd love to go looking for her right about now, but I wipe the idea from my mind and begin walking through the rubble. Excuse me, I almost had a fucking stroke.
お姉ちゃんがガンツクツをあんなひどい。
I saw everything. The spider hug rampaged its way through the venue, sparing nothing in its path. Akiho booted up Model 2 in an attempt to stop it, but she was easily taken out. Misane destroyed the Robotics Club's robot, Akiho's robot. She showed no hesitation nor a shred of mercy. I never would have thought Misane would be capable of something like this. The Misane I know loved robots more than anyone, more than me, more than even Akiho. But I don't have the time to think about that right now. I'm finally able to exit the Expo arena with Akiho on my back. Outside, the large number of people who evacuated have worried looks on their faces. It's a pretty huge crowd. I can hear the sirens of ambulances and fire engines in the distance. Looks like there are quite a few people injured. I can see people all over the place that are bleeding. Some are sitting down, others are lying on the ground. But more importantly, something is off. But what? Wait. Everyone is looking up at the sky, as if they were all struck with the same idea. Solar storm time, huh? Don't tell me a solar storm is coming. Wait, that's not something you can see with the naked eye. I set Akiho down and look up toward the sky, following everyone else's gaze. What I find is something beyond my wildest imagination. What the fuck is this near-ass shit? It's a building I've never seen before. Actually, I hesitate to even call it that. It's some kind of enormous pillar? Maybe a tower? The thing just suddenly appeared over the ocean in Odaiba. It's gotta be at least a few hundred meters in diameter. I've never seen something this gigantic before. It stretches far up into the sky, so far that I can't see the top. Hell, it might even reach space. Isn't this just like a space elevator? The thought of it crashing down to the ground comes to mind, which is enough to send a shiver down my spine. I recognize the strange design at the base of the pillar. The bits and pieces that got leaked onto the internet. Among the scenes, I remember there being a similar gigantic pillar.
Huh?
Akiho is looking up in awe at the pillar piercing the heavens. Akiho weakly shakes her head from side to side.
だってアニメの中に出てくる軌道エレベーターなんだし、現代の技術力じゃとてもじゃないけど 作れない。
じゃあ、あれは一体どうやって？
How was it built? Or are you saying it fell from the sky? Did aliens or something drop it down into Tokyo Bay? I checked the news 30 minutes ago, but there was nothing about any pillars. How could so many incomprehensible things have happened in the short time since we saw Misane? I'm gonna lose my mind.
なあ、アキちゃん。
This is actually some Chaos Head shit.
頑張れるの
Something
最終話
appearing
って
from
どんな
nothing?
話だっけ？
I'm sure it's hard for her to talk after getting an attack, but I can't help but ask.
軌道エレベーターのグランドオベリスクが太陽を砲撃して。
She explains, and her face begins to go pale as she realizes the correlation between what she's saying and reality.
地球は太陽爆発による太陽フレアで焼き尽くされて、敵もろとも壊滅を。
プロジェクトアテム。
The crowd begins to stir. What the fuck, dude? The grand obelisk starts shining ominously. On the surface, countless hierographs pulsate, disappearing and reappearing. The giant pillar almost feels like a living being of some kind. An ice-cold chill runs down my spine.
まさか本当に撃つつもりじゃ。
A strange sound begins to ring out around us. It's similar to the sound of the ground rumbling, yet the earth is completely still, and it shows no sign of rumbling to life. It's not an earthquake. Then, is the grand obelisk itself making the air itself shake? The pillar begins to shine even more strongly. Right away, I pull Akiho close to me and shield her behind me. The warnings in the Kimijima Reports, the leaked final episode of Gunvero. Is it all coming true? Is this what Project Atom is? In front of me, or in front of the eyes of tens of thousands of witnesses, the pillar stretching up into space bursts with a flash so bright it can't be looked at directly, and the sky explodes into a rainbow of colors. What the fuck? What the fuck just happened?
ここで予定を変更して緊急ニュースをお伝えします。
And now we're following Misaki, wherever the fuck she is right now. Okay, well, we're gonna have to save it here. We're out of time, but what the fuck was all this? Seriously, like, I have no idea what just happened. I mean, we can try to take a step back and, you know, kind of just lay out what we saw. Misaki was acting very strange, like she wasn't even here. And she probably wasn't. It's very possible she wasn't, because that was just all very strange. Very, you know, AI-like, if you will. Or just very unhuman. And then there's that speeding into the spider, and she wasn't even there afterwards. The mayhem that ensued there, and sure, we stopped it, you know, after everything was already destroyed, but sure, we stopped it. But now there's this shit. And for that guy to say that if she were to get away, which she most definitely did, the events of the reports would come true. So, is this guy not with the Tavistock Institute? Because wouldn't they all be working together for the events, you know, thrown into the Kimijima Reports to come true? Something isn't lining up. Were we kind of misled a little bit? I wonder. I really wonder. And obviously, I wonder what the fuck is happening with Misaki. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I have no idea. I have no words. I have no words to really describe all this shit. Oh boy. Well, thank you all for watching this wacky-ass episode. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that fancy jazz. And I don't think I can use that cool-ass photo or that cool-ass CG in the beginning of the episode as the thumbnail, because things really went south here. Jesus Christ.